guys, welcome back to my page. If you're new here, thank you for joining. My name is Sarah. I'm a Christian life coach and content creator, and I just come on here every week and I put out a video each Friday, either sharing a teaching or sharing a revelation that I've had about my life, just depending on what I feel led to share. If you're not new here, then welcome back. Thank you for being here today. So this is actually going to be my last video until I come back from my sabbatical. So I'm going to take a sabbatical for the month of October, and then I should be back in November. So some of you guys know this because my previous video I had mentioned that. So yeah, I felt led to take a sabbatical. I'm very excited about it, and I honestly feel like I'm making the same video. In like this video, the one before and the one before, I honestly feel like this has been the same video like 3 times in a row. Also, I'm just making sure it's not getting too bright in here because again, the light is changing a lot. It's hard to say. It's hard to tell. Oh, and Adam is just Adam is leaving for work, and it's just so funny because like we're in an apartment, so we're not very high up, but we're in like a low-rise apartment. So he can like just see me from his car window, and he like looks up, and he literally just made eye contact with me and waved. It was just so funny because I don't know, it's not like a driveway, like it's not like a flat ground, you know, it's like the chances of him actually being able to make eye contact with me is just so funny. So anyways, I just feel like the past videos that I've done have felt like the same message over and over again. So yeah, but I wanted to I wanted to talk about taking a rest today, taking a sabbatical. Maybe the Lord has put it on your heart to take a rest, to take a sabbatical. Maybe the Lord has put it on your heart to make a lifestyle change. Maybe it's not a sabbatical for a month or 2 for you. Maybe it's a lifestyle change of taking your Sabbath properly every weekend. And I felt like the Lord was showing me, oh my gosh, I'm gonna sneeze. Oh my gosh. Okay, it's gone. Okay. I felt like the Lord was showing me to take a sabbatical. I can't remember how many times it happened, but I did feel like I was getting confirmation. So I feel like I don't know how to say so many Instagrammers and influencers' names, because you know when you're just used to just seeing it, so in your head you kind of see it as like a visual thing, but when you go to say their name out loud, you realize you don't know how to say their name. So I follow Suzanne. I don't know if that's how you say her name. I think in my head I would always say Sazan. I don't know why, but I think it's Suzanne. Anyways, I follow her on Instagram, probably subscribed on YouTube as well, but Instagram is where I saw this, and she was just showing how I think it was Switzerland that she went to. I believe it was Switzerland. I don't know how long she went. Maybe it was a month. I'm not sure. But basically she posted on her story about how she will take a long rest from work and just be able to be present with her family. And she was saying in her story, like her Instagram story, obviously not everyone can go to Switzerland or these luxurious places, but you can have a sabbatical wherever you are. And she was just saying how she feels so refreshed and recharged. And when I saw that, I don't know, something in me was just like, I need to take a sabbatical. Even before that, I think I was getting confirmation. Then I was watching a video from Chelsea and Nick. She was talking about their Sabbath, and I was just like, you know what, this is so needed. Then this video popped up that said like the power of rest or something, and it was a sermon. And I know we know this. I know God commands us to rest. We know that even when God created the world, even though he didn't need rest, he chose to rest on the 7th day, I believe. Anyway, so we know that like we are actually commanded to rest. And as I said in my last video, the words that I was getting from my spiritual director was that rest is actually productive, basically. Rest is what will bring more momentum eventually. Blah blah blah, etc. So yeah, it can be, it just depends if that's a season that you're in, if you're needing to take a sabbatical or not, or just again needing to like invest more in your Sabbath. So So yeah, I'm going to be doing that for October. So I'm basically going to not be doing YouTube videos, and I'm not going to be doing one-on-one calls. And then myself and my business partner, Natasha, we're going to take a break from doing podcasts, but that's going to be in November and December and part of January. So it's going to kind of be like, yeah, extended sabbatical. Something I wanted to say in case you are, the other thing I wanted to say is that I also got a confirmation from one of my friends who we met on YouTube, and him and Adam are really great friends, and they literally just have the sweetest friendship ever. Well, we're also friends as well. And he said that he just kept getting the word, actually I don't remember what the word was, but reset. I think it was reset. And yeah, he was just saying like, could you like go on a vacation, or like could you do something like restful like that? And again, it was just another confirmation for me to take a sabbatical. And I think that's just so important for people in ministry, especially, and entrepreneurs and whoever needs it. So yeah, now what I was going to share with you guys is a couple revelations that I had in the last 2 days that I feel like the Lord has been wanting to show me, which is why I feel I've been allowed to have this extreme exhaustion, which I don't like speaking over myself, but it just is what it is right now. So I wanted to share a couple revelations with you guys because you might be able to resonate with it. And then I want to share one last thing. Okay, so 2 big revelations that I had are that, one, so I was listening to a video on adrenal fatigue, and it was just saying that one big thing is that when your mind is constantly moving, thinking, working, it doesn't ever stop. That's another form of stress. And that's definitely my mind for sure. And I realized that I would use my mind, as I'm sure a lot of us do, but really to the point to try to protect myself and try to prevent bad things from happening. Because I would think every single scenario, I would try to think of every single possible thing. Not that necessarily could go wrong, like I'm not negative in that way, but more like what can I do to close every single door and prevent any possible thing from happening. And someone's making eye contact with me out the window. And the thing with that, okay, hold on, get my focus again. Okay, see, this is like... And the thing with that is that that's actually playing God in a sense, because that's me or whoever it is that struggles with this is actually, we're trying to control everything, trying to protect ourselves, protect everyone around us. And it's actually a form of control when your mind is constantly doing that. So I just felt like the Lord was showing me that I'm trying to control everything with my mind. And that's not trusting Him, and that's trying to play God as well. So what I've been trying to do with that is, especially because my mind will especially do that as I'm falling asleep, I'm like casting my stress onto the Lord. I'm casting any possible outcome onto Him. So there's that. The other thing is that I feel like the Lord has been showing me, which again, this could resonate with you depending on which, if it's work, if it's whatever, but I feel like the Lord's been showing me that I really have been finding my identity in my work. And so that's why me taking a sabbatical, and also me being not well enough to work how I used to work, is like, it's very hard, because it's like, this is not who I am, I'm a hard worker, blah, blah, blah. And I was like chatting with someone over Instagram 2 nights ago. I think we were sending voice notes back and forth, and she was saying she also went through adrenal fatigue. She actually had to let go of one of her businesses, but the Lord showed her to do that, so it was all good. And she was just saying that she realized she was finding her identity in her work, which, I mean, I always had a hunch that I was doing that, but I mean, I love my work, right? And this is what this girl was saying as well, is that she loves working and just has a great work ethic, but at the same time, anything can become an idol, and we can find our identity in anything. So yeah, the importance of rest and not finding your identity in your work, and that could be whatever that is for you. And then the other thing that I felt I got a revelation on is that I felt like the Lord was showing me that subconsciously or somewhere deep down, I believe that I'm responsible for everyone. Like, I'm responsible to take care and to like save everyone, essentially, including my husband. And yeah, just feeling like, oh, I have to be the one that heals him. I have to be the one that saves him. And any single person who needs help, it's like I want to just like spring into action and help in any possible way that I can, which is not a terrible thing, but also kind of is, because it's like God is the one who is a healer. He's the one who's a savior. Nothing wrong with wanting to help people, but yeah. And then I got that confirmation. Actually, let me see. I wrote it down in my phone. No, actually I didn't write that down. But the next day, so when I had that revelation, which was 2 nights ago, the next morning when I got up and I was writing an email, and Adam came over, and he just came out of the secret place, and I felt like God was just like speaking directly through him, which sometimes will happen. And he was like, you need to get off of this train that you're driving, that's like, you're trying to drive around and you're trying to save everyone and you feel responsible for everyone's feelings. And he's like, yeah, he was just being like a really tough love, because that's how Adam is. And he was like, you seriously need to get off this train, like get off. And I don't know what else he said, but he went on like a 5-minute tangent. And I was like, yeah, that's what the Lord was showing me last night. It's like, you need to get off of this. And it's one of those things that you don't actually notice you're doing. That's the thing. So a lot of people could say like, oh, I don't do that. A lot of people probably don't do that. But a lot of people do. And you don't really realize it until you stop yourself and you're like, wait a minute. I actually believe somewhere that I am responsible for other people's happiness, or to protect them, or to save them. And as you guys know, I mean, all of these things, these are strongholds, these are beliefs, these are things that we have. Either it's generational, or we've learned it because it's been modeled to us growing up. Some way that this belief came in that was not a godly belief, and we partnered with it and we played it out in our lives. And so, that was just a good reminder for me to be very aware of. The last thing is that also, which kind of goes hand in hand with this, is being aware of not being driven by guilt and not allowing decisions to be driven by guilt. If you are someone who struggles with people pleasing, or like I said, you're driving this train around, and I was just laughing because I pictured myself like with no hair and wearing this like this random, like, what is the name of the person who drives the train? Anyways, I don't remember. Conductor? I don't know. But anyways, I pictured myself wearing this hat and like driving the train. Anyways, if that's something that you do, then it's good to be aware of not allowing decisions to be driven by guilt. So I work with a Christian business coach who's been helping me with my business lately, with some new things that I'm going to be working on, not really during my sabbatical, but anyways. It's been something that's been in the works for a while. And she said that she asked me a question, and then when I shared with her something that I was going to do, I said, to be honest though, I'd only be doing that because I feel bad. And then she was like, yeah, I feel like guilt is not a good motivator for decisions. And I was like, yeah, that's true. And then the other day when I was with Adam, we were supposed to go to the social event, and then he's like, do you want to go? And I was like, yeah. And he's like, do you want to go? And I was thinking, I'm like, to be honest, I only want to go because I feel rude if I don't go. So I guess I don't want to go. And then he's like, all right, we're not going. So yeah, just being mindful of not being driven by guilt, which is one of those things that when you do your whole life, it's hard to undo. It's possible because the Lord can break those strongholds, but it's hard. All right. So I wrote down some things that I need to, just be mindful of in general. But here's the last thing I wanted to share with you guys. So I think it was last night. Yeah, last night I was watching Cayenne Wolfgang on YouTube, and she put out this cute video where she's like, it's like a get healthy with me video, and kind of like resetting your goals and resetting your habits and things like that. And I was like watching her video with my notepad, and I was like writing down like different habits that I wanted to change. And then I downloaded this like free template that she had, which is like a habit tracker. I downloaded it, I started to fill it out, and then Adam came over to me and he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm just wanting to like put some goals and things like that. And he was like, you do not need to be doing that right now. which again, the whole thing, the whole video she did, the tracker, everything, great. But not for me right now, because I'm trying to do the opposite. I'm trying to take a sabbatical and I'm trying to rest. I personally don't need to be more motivated. I need to be less motivated at this time. So then, even though I love the tracker, I saved it, I'll do that in the future. But right now, I can barely exercise right now. So I can't really write down goals of exercise and things like that. Or waking up at a certain time, because right now I'm allowing myself to sleep for like 10 hours a night plus. So then what does somebody do who is an ambitious person who loves to make to-do lists? I made a list for my rest, which I wanted to share with you guys. And so I went on to Canva. So I'm actually going to pull up the document here. I went on to Canva and I typed in like list or something like that. And then I changed it a little bit so that it looks like the list that I want it to look like. And I called it Restful Sabbatical. So I'm going to put that up here beside me. Restful Sabbatical. And I literally made a list of the things that I need to be mindful of while I'm taking my sabbatical. But I also want to be mindful of these things every day. So the point of me sharing this with you guys is just to say that if you are not in a place where you need to be more motivated to set goals, and the Lord's actually saying you need to like calm it down, you need to take a break, then I thought a sabbatical list was just so cute, because it's things to remember. Like, you have to be mindful, because you could easily fall back into working or whatever. So the first thing I put on here is resting and taking naps when I need to. Also not feeling bad about it. I don't know if you guys are good nappers. I'm not a good napper, but I'm going to try to change that. Listening to the Abide app to calm my mind. So that's something obviously that's really helpful. Is, you know, people will obviously call it like meditation, but you're meditating on the Word of God. And the Abide app is really good for that. Combining God time with movement, such as prayer walks. So one of my friends goes to the recreation center close to where I live, and it's really inexpensive. They have a pool, they have a sauna, and like a steam room, and all these different things. And she told me the other day that she'll walk there, I think. Maybe not, I'm not 100% sure, but there's some sort of movement. Maybe she goes on a walk first. But regardless, she'll have her prayer time and walk, get to the recreation center, like swim, and then sit outside of the pool and like have her Bible, and she'll read and have quiet time. Then she'll go into the sauna or steam room, whichever it is, maybe sauna, and then she'll meditate on what she just read. And I really liked that, because I was like, oh, that's actually really cool to combine like some sort of like slow exercise movement with your quiet time in the morning. So I thought that was cool. I put slow exercise because that's what I can do right now, which is walks, swimming, biking, Pilates, and bar. If I can do any of those, I might sign up for the recreation center as well. And then eating adrenal friendly diet, being mindful of not spiking my blood sugar. That's just something I've talked to my naturopath about. Big thing for me during this sabbatical is being present in conversations and relationships, because this is going to be like a big family time in the month of October. We're going to be visiting with Adam's family, and we're going to some of Adam's family and some of my family in the month of October. Just to be a little vague, but yeah, so I want to be present in these relationships and in these conversations, and I just want to be able to rest and be like, I don't need to go and work or anything. Saying no and putting up boundaries, not scrolling through social media, which I think is a huge thing to allow yourself to rest, is not allow yourself to scroll through social media. I've already started that where I'm not allowed to do that. I only go on to post a scheduled post or a story or answer DMs, but I'm not allowed to look through my feed. I'm not allowed to look at anyone's stories, and I'm not allowed to look at my explore page. I'm not allowed to scroll at all. So maybe that could help you. Doing nothing and being okay with it, that's good. Being mindful of not carrying stress. So if you're someone who stresses a lot, if it's emotional, if it's physical, if it's mental, whatever it is, being mindful of it and like, oh, okay, like my body feels very, like my shoulders are tight and whatever. I need to like go stretch, or like I need to relax. I need to do some breathing exercises, or I need to go and pray and cast this worry onto the Lord, or journal to get it out, etc. And taking supplements and vitamins, and then enjoying myself. So that is what I have written down for the sabbatical list. Everyone's is going to look different, obviously, and you don't have to make a list for your sabbatical if you're even taking one. But in case this is something the Lord has been speaking to you on, yours also doesn't have to be a month. Yours could be 2 weeks. It could be 2 months. It just depends. Everyone's different. And yeah, but I wanted to share that with you guys. And then also my spiritual director said to me as well that when she took her sabbatical, which this was like an even more intense sabbatical than mine because she was doing absolutely no work. She actually let her friends and family and clients and everyone know that she wasn't doing any work. So that way they wouldn't be like, I guess, surprised if she said like, no. Mine is a little bit different because I do still answer emails, of course, because I can't neglect my email box, though I am getting help with my email box. But anyways, yeah, so I just wanted to share that with you guys for today, the things that I have been learning so that maybe possibly it could resonate with you. And about, yeah, rest, sabbatical, all those things. I just want to thank you guys so much for your support, and I thank you guys for your understanding as well while I'm going to be away. And I know that I said in a previous video that I was worried about momentum. I actually wasn't talking about momentum of YouTube. I was actually talking about momentum of my business because there's been so much going on. YouTube, to be honest, is not, I don't find YouTube difficult. YouTube is something that I have been reluctant to give up for my sabbatical because it's not something hard for me to do. It's actually very easy. I just sit here, I get to chat with you guys. I don't edit my videos and I post it. So it's not very hard for me, but at the same time, it's still work. It's still energy. It's still something to do. And so that's why I'm going to take it off my list. So even though I enjoy it and I don't feel I want a rest from YouTube, but I'm going to take a rest. And you never know. Sometimes you don't think you need a rest, and then you realize, wow, I needed to rest. Just like if you're a really busy person, maybe you're a mom, I don't know, you're running around constantly. Right when you sit down, you're like, oh my gosh, I'm really tired. So that could be the case with YouTube. So I just want to thank you guys for being so faithful and so loyal to continuing following and liking these videos, subscribing, your comments to our Patreons, to my students and clients, and all of you guys mean a lot. And I'll just make 2 announcements since this will be the last announcement that I'll put out for a while. So as you guys know, NowBloom Academy is open for enrollment. Class is going to start January of 2023. If you're interested in becoming a Christian life coach, or if you're interested in learning how to launch your ministry, business, if you're looking to receive healing for yourself and just use these tools in your everyday life, then definitely pray about it. And of course, I always want it to be led by the Lord. And then I think for Covered by Grace, actually no, this will be in a while. Covered by Grace, we're going to have maybe like a Black Friday sale, but that's going to be the end of November. So never mind about that. But yeah, I think that's it for now. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say for now. Okay, love you guys so much. I will miss you, and I will see you when I'm back. Bye.